Blessings, church. This is What's Happening. Today I'm going to expand on a couple of things that I showed you in my first What's Happening video, and then I'm going to give you an update on what's going on and happening in the church. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of What's Happening. I hope you guys enjoyed our last two videos that I've come out with. If you want to see more, make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our videos. Leave a like and a comment here so I know that you guys are enjoying this and that I should keep making more of them. I plan on making an episode of What's Happening every 2 weeks, and they'll come out on Thursday, so make sure you guys look out for those. A few of you guys are wondering about this small clip that I showed you guys in our first What's Happening video. Now I do want to admit the people in that photo is not me and my wife, but we did get that close to a shark. That photo was actually taken during our vacation in Australia. But before I get more into that, I want to tell you guys a little story. After I went onto our, vacation planning site and I put in all of our information, booked all the things that we were going to do, the first thing we needed to do was get on a plane. I didn't want to strand our car at some airport, so I planned our trip to leave out of the Reading Airport. The Reading Airport would take us to San Francisco, and then San Francisco would take us to Sydney. The one thing we didn't plan for was the weather. So the day we were going to take off from the Reading Airport, the weather was terrible. So we were going to start off our vacation to a very poor start. We had just been dropped off. We only had a few options. Call Molina's parents and have them take us home so we could take our car and drive it to San Francisco and leave it there for our vacation. Or see if we could get a ride from somebody we know, take us to San Francisco, and then have to drive all the way back. And neither one of these options sounded very great to us. Lucky for us, God had a third option. We weren't the only ones that were trying to leave Reading through the airport that morning. There was a wonderful woman named Wilma who was in a similar predicament. Her cousin Fritz needed to return home to Germany the same way we needed to take our trip to Australia. She overheard me and my wife talking, and she'd offered to take us. She already knew she was going to need to drive down to San Francisco to drop off her cousin and drive back. So what was the harm in taking this lost married couple? I wanted to share this with you because it's just a perfect example of God providing for somebody through the acts of another person's kindness. Don't be afraid to be that kindness for somebody else. God can use anybody to help, whether that's you or whether that's me, or whether it's a lovely woman named Wilma and her cousin Fritz. Needless to say, we made it to San Francisco in one piece, and then we went onto our plane and on our way to Australia. Now, Australia is on the other side of the world, so the plane rides are extremely long. One of the longest flights you can actually take. In addition to it being a really long flight, Australia is in a different time zone than us, an earlier time zone. So it's actually really funny. On our itinerary, it says that we left on November 30th. But didn't arrive in Australia until December 2nd. It took us several days to get there because of the time difference and just from a long ride. We stayed in Sydney for about 3 days. While we were there, we went to this wonderful aquarium and zoo, and we also went up this tower called the Sydney Eye. And I'll show you guys some pictures of those. We also took a bus tour. It took us to this beautiful park. There is this beautiful fountain. It also took us over towards to see the Opera House. And here we are at the aquarium. There was so much to see. They also had sharks there as well. There's one floating right over us. It was pretty cool. This was really funny to watch because there were a couple of different divers in there trying to feed these sharks, and none of them were very happy about it. Little seahorse. If you see all the little white things floating around it, that's actually seahorse babies. Good old octopus. These magpie larks were pretty funny. They had these signs all over the place saying that they are swooping in the area. There are nests nearby that they want to protect. They'll just attack people. So they have warnings all over the place. Look at him staring at us. This is the Sydney Tower Eye and a view from inside the tower. They also had a photo booth there. After that, we took another plane ride over to Cairns. And then from there we went to our hotel, which was in Port Douglas. Beautiful. This had to have been our favorite spot in our vacation.
Okay, so we just walked through the door to our Cairns/Port Douglas vacation spot. And it is lovely. We've got this whole little kitchen over here with Jeremiah right there. And he's standing next to the washer, not the dryer, because in Australia they don't believe in dryers. They think everything should air dry. And this is our gorgeous little bedroom. And then you go over here and you've got this lovely little balcony that looks over at the pool. And we're on vacation.
Molina's kind of afraid of exotic food, so we went to this burger place, which was awesome. And this is a banana milkshake, best banana milkshake we've ever had. This is what the town looked like while we were walking through. Beautiful little church. While we walk through, there's a constant noise of birds. They were really, really pretty. As you can see from this sign, we did not do a lot of swimming here. It was in Port Douglas. We had a personal tour guide. He was an awesome guy. He took lots of pictures for us and we had a blast. He took us through a bunch of rainforests and got to swim in this area right underneath a waterfall. It was so great. He took us to this lake and we had a little tour. Now, we didn't take too many pictures of the rainforest. Our tour guide told us that out of the 25 most venomous snakes in the world, 21 of them live in Australia. So we tried to keep our eyes open. These little guys here are wallabies. They're basically mini kangaroos. I like when you put their little This is the lake that we were at when we took our lake tour. Got to see lots of wildlife. The lake was humongous. Me and Molina loved turtles, so we had to get a clip of these little turtles.
There he goes. Can you see him? Yes. Oh.
Whenever I think of eels, I think of The Princess Bride.
I was reading that
If you're ever wondering what a platypus looks like, this is it. Nothing like Phineas and Ferb. Here's the little lake and waterfall we were at. And of course we had to see kangaroos. Can't go to Australia without seeing kangaroos. What's really funny about this is it's actually at a golf course. And our tour guide was actually the one who told us there was a place nearby that would take us to go snorkeling, which is where that picture came from. I'll show you guys more things that we got to see right here. These are some shots that we got to take on our way out. It was interesting going far out into the ocean to the point where you can't see any more land. And till we arrived at our destination, suited up, and here's some of the awesome little critters we got to see while we were underwater. Now, me and Melina don't own an underwater camera, so all these photos that you're seeing were all taken by our instructor. So many little critters. Some things are massive. These clams are huge, about the size of a person, some of them. You'd think you'd be able to fit inside one. I tried to add in some of these pictures to show you the vastness of how the ocean looked. It was pretty crazy to look down and to see almost nothing. We also got some cool shots of this sea turtle, which I was the only person who actually got to see the sea turtle. I swam right next to it. Unfortunately, Melina wasn't fast enough of a swimmer to reach the sea turtle in time. But that brings us to the infamous picture of the shark. Our instructor actually came in for a closer look. Here's some close-up shots. And here's some other pictures of sharks that our instructor took while we were out.
The last spot in our trip was Melbourne. We also stayed there for 3 days. While we were in Melbourne, we saw these rock formations that they like to call the 12 Apostles, which are really cool.
The 12 Apostles are just giant rock formations made out of limestone, caused by erosion from the waves crashing into them, tearing apart the cliff face to make these awesome rocks.
And this is also the place where we did a rainforest zipline tour. You guys saw a clip of that as well. I can show you guys more of that.
God, these guys catch up quick. We should just merge and become one big super group.
Don't think we'd all fit on the platform, huh?
No, you make a good point. Maybe we'll just have to race ahead of them. Alright, so I get you to have a seat. Leave the seat plate as it is. And I'll wiggle you out. Seat star for me, leaning forward. Beautiful. Woo! Da da da, wah, wah! Nice landing too. Look at this, everyone's become a pro. Okay, have a seat, my friend. I'll wiggle you off. And ready, set, go! Wah!
I got your strap.
All in all, the best vacation I've ever had. And I got to spend the whole thing with my wife. It was perfect. Now that I'm done talking about my wife's dream vacation, Valentine's Day is coming up, and it's actually landing on a Sunday, so we'll be here for a Sunday Valentine's Day, and it's going to be very special. We'll have treats and lots of other fun things planned, so make sure you guys come ready to have a good time. We also have some other updates that we're still working on here in the church, so make sure that you guys keep your ears open for the things that we're going to be doing next. I hope you guys enjoyed, and remember, if you guys have any ideas on what you would like to see me try next or do next, leave a comment down below. Alright, until next time, see you, City Church.